Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Now today's video is all going to be about Botox and fillers and my filler experience and everything kind of like to keep you guys updated. If you want to hear more about my filler story and just everything, then please keep on watching. So just before I get started, I just wanted to give a massive disclaimer. If you are not into needles, Botox, fillers, surgery talk or anything like that, this video is probably not going to be for you. If you want to leave any negative feedback, don't bother. Click that X button now. Don't watch this video. This video is probably not for you. This video I'm really doing for educational purposes so that I can share my story. I recently felt like with certain procedures that I've been having, I have gone online to look at things and to look at research and to see a little bit more in depth about certain treatments to find that there isn't that much on there. There's definitely not a lot of guys talking about it, and despite that factor, I think it's really important to educate and just to share those experiences, because there's so many people out there who have things done and they just don't talk about it, and I completely understand, but I feel like I really want to share everything with you guys. I want to be completely open. I just want to be myself. I don't want to have any like worries or concerns or anything like that, so I hope you appreciate that. So I have been writing quite a few bits and bobs down on my iPad, and just a little plug, if you guys are loving this case, it is by Coconut Lane, and I do have a discount code, but it's so cute. So today I am in front of the camera once again with absolutely no makeup on, and the reason being is I just visited an amazing clinic called Dr. Dray Clinic, and this is in West London. So I am just going to let my skin breathe, and I don't want to be putting anything on there. So my main idea for this video is going to be into 3 different parts. I want to start off with my journey, then I'm going to give a few top tips of advice, and I also did post on my Instagram a Q&A for you guys, so that if there are any specific questions that you have, then I can do my best to answer them. If you are watching this, you can also comment below and write any questions that you might have. Just to let you guys know, I am not a nurse or a doctor or a practitioner in any sense or form, so my answers will only be from the perspective of a customer, a client, do you know what I mean? So if you do feel like, you know, there's quite hard questions, I'll try my best to answer them, but again, I'm not the professional, so you can always go to the professional and ask them a bit better. So, where do we begin? Okay, so around about 9 to 10 years ago is when I started my Botox and filler journey, and I kind of started with a lot of fear. I decided to go for Botox, and at the time, I really wanted a frozen look, so I had 3 areas of Botox. Botox is basically where you freeze muscle movement. There are 3 main areas, like I said, and that is your forehead, your frown, and your crow's feet. This is completely safe. I wouldn't say it's not safe. Obviously, you have to go to someone who is registered and knows what they're doing. Since then, also, people have been using Botox in other areas of the face. They can sometimes use it around the lips, around the nose, around the jaw to kind of tighten it. So, you know, there are always innovative and different ways that practitioners are using their products to create new techniques, which is a good thing. So I started with those kind of like main 3 areas, and then it slowly started progressing to a little bit of lip filler, which I was always going very, very slowly. And then I remember I also got my cheeks done. So the first time I got my cheeks done, I absolutely did not like it. It was so big. It was like really dramatic. It was very cat-like. I definitely wasn't a huge fan. But the great thing, and I think the best thing about filler, is that it is not permanent. I know that some people might say it's really frustrating and annoying that I always have to go back. It's a lot of maintenance, but honestly guys, I think that's the good thing about it. I think I love the fact that it's not permanent, and you can obviously like slowly you start building up to where you're happy, and then it's just a matter of maintenance. After that, I kind of then was looking into dark circles, and dark circles was just something I was really struggling to get rid of and to manage, because a lot of you actually asked me about acne and dark circles. Those are the 2 main things that you guys always ask me about. I was doing some research and I found tear troughs. So tear trough is basically where they put filler underneath your eyes to kind of fill out this bit. It's not great if you've got puffy eyes, but if you have sunken eyes, it's amazing. And I definitely feel like because of my Mediterranean background, I've always got dark circles and they are always sunken. You can even see now with no makeup, I still have that darkness there, but that shadow over here and that kind of set socket has smoothed out due to the tear trough treatment. Definitely, I feel like there's almost trends, guys, that kind of like come and go at the same time. So people then discovered this amazing thing where you could use filler to basically reshape your nose. Now, if you have a big nose and you want something smaller, that's not going to happen with filler. But let's say you've got a bump or it's not smooth or you need building up of the bridge or something like that, that is definitely possible with filler. And it has just blown away the industry in my opinion. And it's incredible because it means that people do not have to go under the knife and have full-on rhinoplasty surgery in order to correct their noses. And I think this is a lot more of an affordable option for a lot of people, a lot more of a risk-free option, and this is definitely an option that I considered and I went ahead with. So I am so happy. I think, you know, having surgery is a big step, so you need to make sure you know exactly, you know, your surgeon and that. That's a journey I haven't personally taken. Obviously, if you're more into like that, maybe go and check out some other videos. But in terms of Botox and fillers, you can use it all over the face. It's just incredible that you can achieve such amazing results with filler on the nose, like just mind-blowing. So I would definitely say I've got to a point in my life where, you know, things are so much more accessible, and I've always been backstage and behind the scenes and never really in front of the camera. And what I do notice is that when you're constantly staring at yourself, editing videos, either for YouTube or Instagram or photos, you definitely spend quite a lot of time staring at yourself, and you notice all those little tiny things that might bother you that perhaps no one else ever sees. It is only within our nature that, you know, we're going to be looking at ourselves and we're going to be nitpicking, and that's absolutely normal. Like, you don't even have to be in front of the camera to be that type of person. But what I will definitely say, guys, is I feel like I got to a point where it's maybe getting too much. Like, you know, when you look good and you just need to stop there, because there is no such thing as perfection and there is no such thing as achieving that. So if there's an improvement, amazing. I also wanted to share that recently I feel like it's been getting a little bit much, and I made a decision to get a procedure done which I feel like was perhaps unnecessary, and I wasn't so like happy. I definitely will feel like I've seen so many different doctors and nurses and people, so I feel like I've got a very good round opinion and approach and experience of like different practitioners and different doctors and how they go about doing different things. I will say as well that there are so many people out there who are maybe not completely amazing and yet they're doing this. I've noticed that a lot of dentistries have started doing Botox and fillers, and unless you're employing a specialist who does that, I think it's really important to always do your research and see a specialist in that field. Okay, so this kind of takes me on to the advice section of this video that I really wanted to share with you. And these are things that over the 9 to 10 years of a patient having non-surgical procedures, I really wanted to share to reassure you guys. So many of you love sharing your stories, and I'm not sure if you share them with your partners, your parents, your family. I don't know if you do. It might be very hush-hush. You might not want to tell anyone, but I love the fact that you guys can turn to me and you snap me and you DM me or your photos, your before and afters and everything that you're doing. And it really means so much to me that despite anything, you guys have someone that you can turn to for advice. You send me photos and you're like, Danny, I've got a bruise, is that normal? And I'm like, yeah, that's completely normal. And if there's anything that I can't help you with, obviously you can always go back to your practitioner and ask them any relevant questions, because if they're good, then they definitely should be giving you that aftercare advice. One of the things I would strongly say is always go to someone who specializes in something. If someone specializes in Botox, then they're going to be a really amazing candidate at Botox, but they might not be the best at perhaps jaw, chin, or like tear troughs or other things like that. They might just specialize in Botox and not be that amazing, or they're still developing in filler. So if that's the case, make sure that you go to someone who specializes. I definitely feel like with the kind of like cross-reference of the different people that I've been going to. Some people are just amazing at certain things and they're just renowned and known for that. You know, going to that person for what they specialize in is incredible. Also, I want to say that don't just look on their Instagram and just be like, whoa, yeah, blown away, boom. Like, always make sure you then go on their website, check them out. There's also a really good website which I'm gonna link below, and this is mainly for people in the UK to check if your nurse or practitioner is registered. So this is a website that I use to make sure that the person that I'm going to is registered. You just type in their first name and surname and you'll get up all of the information. Now, if you're from other parts of the world, then maybe you've got similar things. Just head on over online and just double check. Just be like nurse or doctor registry and see what websites are out there for you. I'm gonna pop that website down in the description box as well, so if you do need to use it, it's there for you guys. Now, despite me being here and despite so many people who are quite open about Botox and fillers, no one is going to be the best form of support than the actual practitioner or specialist who has provided you with the treatment. Now, you should definitely have direct access to this person, whether it's a line that you can call up and ask for advice, a mobile number where you can text someone, or an email address or some form of contact so that you can get in contact with that person with any questions. Another really good piece of advice that I would say is to always look at your face from different angles. I think people get so obsessed with just looking in the mirror. You see your face front on, you're like, okay, but you need to also see what your face looks like from side on and side on, because I think definitely with lips, like people always look at lips forward and they start getting like these big massive lips, and then from the side it's just like humongous and it just looks so unnatural. If you're looking at yourself or analyzing yourself, maybe take photos from the side as well and see how all your proportions are looking. Another thing is, usually I always take reference photos to my practitioner of the aesthetics that I like, but remember guys that these are different people with different genes, different like head shapes, face shapes, whatever shapes, so you cannot become that person, okay? You have your own canvas to work on, so please be realistic about like what you can look like. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you've got really super thin lips and you take in a photo of like Kylie Jenner, you need to be realistic. That's maybe something that you can't do straight away. Maybe you can build up to something like that. Do you know what I mean? So guys, this video is not about naming and shaming people at all, because I honestly feel like I've been really lucky that every single person I've gone to, I feel like has delivered a really good service. But recently I have, and this is again me being really honest, I feel like I've gone a little bit too far, and I think I kind of taken an opportunity to get something done which maybe wasn't really necessary and required. Now have decided to reverse that, so I can actually give my first ever honest review on the filler dissolving process. Basically, I definitely don't think that that practitioner did a bad job. Absolutely not. I think that practitioner did an amazing job, but for some reason it was just not right for me, and that's okay. You know, that's okay to admit that. I feel like looking back at how I looked like before, there was actually nothing really there to fix or correct. So it's okay that I made that decision. It is with a very heavy heart that I admit that. And it is also with a very heavy heart that I am publicly announcing this and making it very, you know, it's kind of scary that I'm making it very public. But it is by no means that practitioner's fault. Sometimes we just get carried away. So I really wanted to share this because I really don't want you guys to do the same thing, because when you have a treatment and you don't feel like yourself and you don't feel like you look like yourself and you are looking at yourself all day, I haven't actually filmed all week because of it. It's left me feeling very just weird, like just not myself. It's like conscious and a bit paranoid about it. Yeah, I'm human as well, guys, you know, we're not all perfect, so decided to go for that. Again, I'm so amazed that you can do that. That is an option to reverse it, and I love the fact that nothing is permanent. So if you do ever have a treatment and you're not 100% happy with it, know that that is an option. A really good way to get around that, guys, and not waste anyone's time and not waste your money, is to go little by little. For example, usually if you're going to have lip fillers, you might have 1 ml, which is 1 syringe of product. Now, if it's your first time, I would highly recommend maybe going for the 0.5, half a ml. Try it first, see how it is, see how it settles, and then if you still want more, you can always go back in a few weeks time and then have more done. That's a much better way than going full on out, hating it, reversing it, doing it again. It's just a lot more cost effective, a lot more sensible, and a lot more responsible if we do things that way around. Alright, next up, I'm going to be answering some of your questions. I literally just did a post on my Instagram, just throwing it out there, so I'm going to be answering some of your questions, and I think this is so important, because it's okay me just sitting here and like talking about my experience, but I really want to know what you guys want to know. Like that's the key thing.